2, 1. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Gamers Lounge podcast. My name is John Meadows. With me as always, Eric, Nathaniel, and Robert. What is going on, fellas?
What is happening, guys?
Everybody full of turkey?
I had ham.
Ham?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you have at Christmas time.
No, see, what you do is you have ham and turkey.
We almost
both
did that,
times.
but there was so much food, it was like, no, we really don't need a ham on top of everything else. The ham would have been put us over the top. I mean, we had 3 kinds of starches. We had mashed potatoes, we had sweet potatoes, and we had hash brown casserole. So it was like,
Oh my gosh.
that's a
No
whole...
yams?
Ugh.
Okay. Not a yam guy.
That answers that question.
Ugh.
What's the difference between a yam and a sweet potato?
They are a different thing.
Yeah,
Trust me. People get angry.
I think to me, it's a texture thing.
Yeah, to me, it's a texture and a taste.
Yeah, it
every
tastes
time
a
I have
little
sweet-
off, but
Every time I have sweet potatoes, all I can think about is eating. My buddy works for one of the big fry companies. And he's like, "You like sweet potato fries? Because I got bags and bags in my house." I'm like,
sweet potato fries are good. I like those.
Yeah,
I don't like
I
them
mean,
all the
they're-
time,
they're
but
fine in little doses. But
yeah, I don't.
just
I
tons
like
of
them every once in a while. And we had like broccoli casserole. That was our other vegetable of choice.
That was the greens.
Yeah,
Instead of green bean casserole?
yeah. Well,
You said green beans.
I'm not much on green beans. I don't care for green beans. And Nikki only likes green beans if you can get them fresh. And this is the kind of time of year you can't get them
Yeah.
fresh around here.
Yeah.
So.
Don't get them fresh.
So she doesn't care for them from a can. They're all right in a can, I guess. But
I like them
Yeah,
frozen.
They're much better fresh, though.
yeah, they are. It's a lot better fresh. But we had so much food, it didn't matter. And then we had one on Thursday, and then we had one with Nikki's family on Friday, and it was just. I had a hamburger tonight because I was so tired of eating leftovers.
Yeah,
I had turkey.
I'm
Turkey,
very
pumpkin
tired of
crisp,
leftovers.
potatoes, stuffing, the works. I
it's
think I
like-
still got some for tomorrow too.
Oh, we've still got a ton. We've not much sides, but we still have tons of turkey. But it was just like, no, I got to have something other than turkey. I'll go to Wendy's and grab a quick hamburger just to have something different. But anyway, we're not here to talk about food.
We're not? What?
Aw.
It's now a food podcast. Don't let the title fool you. It's a food podcast now.
Oh yeah, it's a food podcast.
Well, what do you eat in the lounge? But food.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Doesn't matter what you're doing elsewise. You gotta have.
Yeah, you gotta
Well,
talk
yeah,
about.
you
You
got
gotta
to.
have food. Gotta have
Probably
substance.
some pretzels and peanuts and maybe a stiff drink.
Yeah, I can't drink.
turkey.
I can't eat peanuts anymore. It's sad. I love peanuts, but they give me the gout or the kidney stones, so I cannot eat.
We'll give
Peanuts,
you circus
really?
peanuts instead.
Yeah. Yep. Too many
about
peanuts
the
will do that
almond?
to you. Maybe I'm not a big almond fan.
Cashews?
I've never had cashews are even worse.
Yeah, because they're a similar type of nuts.
Yeah, I've never had a pistachio,
Dressing,
so I might
whatever.
like a pistachio. I don't know.
Pistachios are
I've never-
good.
I've never had one before,
Yeah.
so I need to
Is it
try.
the
that.
amount of purines that are in nuts? Because those are one things that cause gout flare-ups.
I have no idea. All I know is my doctor said when I had kidney stones that to stay away from dark pop,
So Mountain Dew is cool,
peanuts.
right?
Mountain Dew is cool. Gatorade's cool, but not Coke, Pepsi.
You don't drink
Dr.
coffee.
Pepper. I don't drink coffee. And dark tea. I can drink
Dark
light
tea?
tea or watered down tea, but I can't drink like a
Interesting.
heavy dark tea. And
This guy used to work.
it's my favorite kind of tea is the dark
This guy
tea.
used to work with to get kidney stones all the time. His doctor said no pop, but coffee was fine.
Yeah. See, it
Because
all depends on what it's made out of. If they catch it and they can analyze it, they'll tell you what you can eat and what you can't eat. Unfortunately, peanuts was top of my list.
I remember he passed one at work, and he's like, "Oh, hang on,
Oh,
painful." I'm
yeah.
like, "Oh, dude, go home." He's like, "No, I'm good."
Lucky him. I had 5, and I've only passed 3. Or 2. I
Oh.
only passed 2. I had to have surgeries for the other 3. So, yeah.
No peanuts. No peanut butter either, then, right?
I have peanut butter every once in a while, but not like I used to. I used to have, I love peanut butter. I used to eat it all the time, but
Me too.
I don't anymore, unfortunately. But
So that's interesting. So almond butter, then? No almond butter?
Almond butter is the best butter.
It is
I don't know.
pretty
I've
good.
never really had almond butter. I
It's
don't like
don't-
almonds, so I
Butter is
didn't
the best
figure.
butter.
Well, yeah, butter is the best butter. May not be the
Butter.
best for you, but it is the best butter. You're right.
Yeah, I mean it's cashew. And if you don't like cashew, then you won't like cashew butter.
Oh, I love cashews, but
But you
that's
can't have it
I
'cause-
can't really have them. Those are the ones
You-
that
Almond butter is interesting. It has like a little bit of a smoky taste to it. I don't know. I might try it.
I might try it that sometime. I've kind of got to the point where I've learned to live without it, so it's kind of like,
You don't want to get back
I'd give
on
almond
the train.
butter a shot.
I may do that.
It's really good for nut butters.
Yeah.
Yeah, for-
Well, I like to. This is the time of year I like to have a nice big peanut butter sandwich with my chili or whatever. So might be a good substitute. But
all right, so
everybody
talked about
found
food,
that super
talked about
interesting.
health.
I mean,
Let's talk about what we've been playing.
between the food, the kidney stones, and the I'm sure everybody enjoyed that.
All that holiday eating.
Well, I know I'm going to let Robert go first because I've been playing it too. I just didn't put it in my list since that's the only thing that he's been
Oh,
playing.
no.
So I wanted to see what you thought of Animal Crossing Pocket Camp.
Yeah, I've been playing quite a bit of it in my free time.
Yeah,
And I'm a big Animal Crossing fan, so anybody out there, take that for what you will. This game, in my opinion, has all of the charm and all of the addictiveness as the mainline Animal Crossing games, but it does not have anywhere near the depth. So there's definitely some key things missing that I really enjoy, at least so far. Who knows if it's going to get updated? Cell phone games seem to get updated quicker than most.
right.
But I don't know. What did you start with, John? I started with a cool camp.
I did the basic camp, whatever the first one was. It wasn't like super cool. It's just I don't
Maybe
remember
nature or
what they called it. Nature, I
something.
think's what they called it. I think it was
Yeah,
nature.
there was like nature, cute, cool, and sporty.
I think I did nature is what I did.
And it really doesn't matter in the long run. It's like you get a couch in whatever
Yeah.
style you chose, and you just go from there.
Because everybody
and-
has their own style. You got to make anyway to get them to come to the camp anyhow.
Yeah.
So
So you'll know in like the mainline games, it's based off of real world time and real world seasons and things like that. So far, this is not like that. Instead of having like one area that you explore, there's, I don't know, maybe 6 or something small areas that you go through. And each area is in its own season, or at least it appears that way to me. Some of them, if you're on the beach, it looks more tropical. And then there's a greener area for butterflies and the bugs. And then there's one section that's kind of fallish and it's got brown leaves and brown grass where all the fruits and things are. Instead of having one set of fruit in your town this time, you can collect all of them. I haven't been able to really compare with anybody to see if everyone gets a different amount of each fruit. I've noticed that some people were selling more fruits than others, and I'm pretty low on pears personally. I only have one tree with pears, so I don't know if that's the same for everyone.
I don't know. I was trying to think. I hit all the trees when I'm at every place, but I don't remember how many pears. See, now I'm going to have to open it up. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah, let me know. But there's a good amount of characters in there already, and you cycle through them pretty quickly, so you don't really get too bored with them. The only caveat to that is, they all have their own personalities based on their type of camp that they prefer. So the cool, the sporty, the cute, and the nature people.
Yeah.
They all end up saying the same things, dependent on if you're a cool person or a sporty person. So they don't have quite the same distinctive personalities that they did in the game, which is kind of a bummer. But at the same time, with it being a mobile game, I don't really pay attention to that anyway. I'm just skipping through.
Well, yeah,
Or
and it's
saying
kind of a
that
hop in, hop
my
out
next
thing
thing-
anyway. So
It is, and
they're
it does
not
a
gonna
really
get-
good job about it.
Yeah, they don't want to get too deep with it, I don't reckon.
No, I don't think so. Have you played much of it at all, John?
Have I what?
Have you played much of it at all?
Yeah, I've invited everybody that I can except for 2 characters that I haven't met yet, and I have no idea where to
Okay.
meet them at. They're not on my map, so I don't know where to go.
What level are you at?
Level 3.
Oh, okay.
I have 5
I'm-
pairs.
I hit level
Oh, no, wait,
19
that's Peaches.
today.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
Little difference there.
Yeah.
But you get more people. So as you start inviting people into your personal camp, they're on a timer. So just like all the
Right.
fruits and things that you do, it's all time based. And after whatever it is, 3 hours or so, they'll rotate from area to area. Or if you've invited them to your camp, more people will rotate into the game that you can meet up with and do your fetch quests for and build up those relationships. And once you start building up those relationships, the grind really starts to hit as you get close to maxing out their levels. You start out at 7. Relationship 7 is the highest level you can get with somebody. And once you get them there, you have to get a very specific item to be able to increase them to the next set of levels. So I just got 1 to 7, and now I had to create a cool tent. So I've unlocked a way to get 2 tents in my area now. And I have 1 sporty tent, and my cool one is being made right now. And I should be able to increase my next person up to whatever it is beyond 7 at this point. I'm not sure if it lets me go up to 10 or if I have to go up to 8 and then find another special item in order to start doing that. But that'd be my guess. Otherwise, I don't think it would last very long.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that. I just invited everybody I could to the camp and got them in the camp, and it's kind of like, okay, well, now what do I do?
Yeah, you will get more people, absolutely.
Well, and then there was 2 people that shows up on the list to invite, but I'm like, well, I don't know where they're at because I couldn't.
And you can eventually call them too. If you click on them, you can call them.
Yeah.
And there's calling cards, et cetera, et cetera. There's one area called the quarry, and you can't enter the quarry but once a day, and you can only enter if you pay in leaf tickets, which is the microtransaction, or if you can get 5 people on your friends list to lend you a hand. And basically, when you try to enter the quarry, you can ask all of the people on your friends list for help. So what I did was I've invited every single person in the game that I've met so far to be a friend. So I have an entire list of friends, plus my real world friends. And anytime I'm going into the quarry, first thing in the morning, I go into my thing and I'm like, I'm going to ask every single person on my friends list to help me out. And then lately, since I've been working so much, it's just like, by the time I get off work, at least 5 people have lent me a hand to get me to the quarry. And the quarry will allow you to get minerals and different things and bonuses for crafting things and for cash or belts, I guess, in this case.
Sounds like a lot of fun, a big battery drain.
Yeah.
It hasn't been killing my battery too bad.
Well, but you have a newer phone, though.
I do.
My phone,
but I don't. But it's not a plus phone,
Yeah.
and it's been getting me through the day.
Mine's about an app. Mine's a plus, and it's almost 2 years old. It'll be 2 years old in February, and
it might be taxing
it'll
your
drain
battery
my
a little
battery
bit.
some. So.
We did test it for its data usage, which was very interesting. Michelle only has a 2 gigabyte data limit. So I wasn't too worried on mine because I have 24 gigabytes or something stupid. But she was playing with hers, and then the next day it barely used anything. So it is not
that's good.
a huge data drain at the very least.
Unless you have to download a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, but there was only that one download when you first started playing, and then after the latest update, there was another 85 meg one.
It seems like every update there's going to be a bunch of stuff you'll have to download. So.
The one of the downloads, I don't remember if it was a download or a loading screen or what it was, but one of them lets you collect bells during the loading screen, so you actually can interact with it and collect them, jump along and get them, which was nice.
I only got that one time, so
yeah, I've only seen it the one time too.
Yeah,
so I don't really remember exactly what it was.
I don't even.
But I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. I mean, it's cool. It's a cool little. I'll jump in for a few minutes and then get out, and then I'll forget about it for about 5 or 6 days, and then I'll jump into it again. Of all the times I could have played it this week, I only remembered one time. And I know it came out Wednesday, Tuesday.
It was recently. It ended up coming out a day earlier than it was supposed to.
I think it was Tuesday, and
I think so.
I didn't think about it. I played it a little bit Tuesday, and a little bit Tuesday night, and then I thought about it this afternoon.
Yeah, it was
played
Tuesday.
it for a little bit. So. I mean, it's cool. It's Animal Crossing. It feels like Animal Crossing. The graphics are good. The animation's good. It looks nice on a mobile screen.
It's probably the nicest Animal Crossing has ever looked.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see what they're going to do with with a version of it on the Switch eventually.
Yeah, when this came out, I was like, man, I don't even know if I'll need a Switch version. But after playing it, as much as I do enjoy it, I'm missing some of those deeper components because you don't have there's no collection in this game. There's no log, no hunting log, no fishing log, none of that. There's no museum to store your stuff in.
But you go fishing, and I like how they do the fishing in it. It's easy and easy to do, and you go collect seashells and you go collect fruit, and Yeah, that's about
it's like boiled it down to its
yeah.
its essence.
Well,
and then
I get that. I mean, people, when you want a mobile game, you don't want a mobile game like World of Warcraft that you'll play for hours on your phone. You want something that you can jump in and play for a few minutes and jump out and still accomplish something in those.
yeah,
few
I mean,
minutes
if you
or
want to,
so.
you can sit in there and just grind out some fish and sell them. And I don't know how many loans there are, but in Animal Crossing, there's always a loan for fixing up your house. And this, it's your RV. I have a second story expanded section of my RV, and I'm on a $50,000 loan or something. I'm just like, what?
all I've done is painted mine. That's all I did. I got the free paint job, and I went, thanks. I'll see you guys later, because I don't ever do anything in the camper except drive from place to place, and that's it. That's all I do in there. So.
There's this one girl at work, and she downloaded it when it was available in the Australian store, and she linked it up with her My Nintendo and was able to transfer it over to the US store. So she's like level 29, something ridiculous, and I was just like, whatever. I'm not even gonna try to compete with this.
Yeah, that's no. But it's a cool little game though, and what's nice is you can actually accomplish something without having to pay money if you don't want to. I mean,
yeah, I've never once felt the need to spend money on the Leafs.
And
if I was super impatient, I suppose, if you were just I want to craft all day.
Well,
but it's not that kind of game.
I mean, so far the longest I've had to wait is less than 60 seconds for something to craft. I mean, that's
I've had a 17-hour.
Oh no! See, that way I would pay something for that, but still they give you so many of those things.
I had 500 at some point. There was a not a quest, but some sort of objective where it was like, oh, you'll get a bonus if you spend your Leaf ticket to speed up something. And I was like, all right, let me find what the most time-consuming thing I can craft is and use it on that. So I did and got the bonus. And
yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's fine. I'll just save this until I need that again.
Yeah, but it's a cool game. I don't know if I'm in it for the long haul or not, but it'll be. Oh yeah, that's on my phone. I'll play it for a few minutes. About the way Mario.
I'm sure I'll play it to death until then one day I'm just like.
I wish there was you're talking about a lot of people on your friends list. I wish there was a way to import your friends from the Miitomo app, because I've got.
That would be nice.
I've got over 1,000 people on that app, and.
There is a limit, I've been told, to the friends list in the game. I haven't reached it yet, and I got quite a few. But I'll just delete them as I find more real world friends.
Yeah.
They're there for now.
That's what I like with the Switch. I can always best friend somebody, so I know that person, even though I don't recognize that name. I know that person. I wouldn't have started them. I wish I
met this person somewhere.
Yeah. A lot of times, a lot of people don't use nicknames that they use on everything. So it's like, well, who is this weird W so person? Oh, that is that I know from wherever. And it's like, that's why I started him, was because I can never.
That's why I wish every system would let you do your own nicknames like Steam does, so that you can put that name on there. So it's like in parentheses, and so no matter if they change their name or if it's different from everything,
Well, PlayStation's got that real name request, which I always enjoyed.
I like that. I mean, that way I definitely know who somebody is. I don't have to worry about nicknames. So.
That's pretty good too.
Yeah,
I like immediately, as soon as I friend someone, I'm like, yep, I'm gonna go ahead and real name you. Someone I met online.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't
that's
care.
what I do. Too.
I know you as XXX Sephiroth XX.
Sephiroth
XXX turkey leg X.
Yeah, XX 457-17A, because 14 other people had that before he did, or whatever.
That's right.
And you couldn't be bothered to come up with a different name.
Nope, I couldn't be.
Just add a number.
Then everything. I'm JC Meadows on everything, and it just peeves me off if I can't get that on something. It really makes me mad.
Oh yeah,
it's just like I've got everything, and I don't have that. So, but now I do. So, or 94. I'll throw 94 on there. There's usually not 94 JCMs. So.
I would suspect not.
Yeah. So usually I get lucky, but still, it's like there's this one guy on Twitter who has JC Meadows handle, so I have to put 94 on the end of mine, and I'm like, he doesn't use Twitter anymore. Just give it up and let me have that.
Give it to me. Yeah.
It aggravates me to death. I got to have that. I have to have that. But Yeah, so the only thing I actually, oh my gosh, this week with me, it's been Switch, or the past 2 weeks. I bought more Switch games in the past 2 weeks. I think I'm up.
Really?
Well, I told Eric, I said, I think I'm up to 32 now.
What?
Goodness.
Yeah, I bought.
Black Friday deals or what?
No. I had. I'd traded in some games at GameStop and picked up Lego Marvel 2. And got it on the Switch. Usually I don't buy the Lego games until they go down to like $20, but I was really interested to see how well this one ran on the Switch, so I broke my usual wait till $20 just so I could see how it ran.
Okay, I don't buy it day one.
Yeah, well, it really wasn't day one. It was more like day 3. But, it was in the first week anyway. But it's a cool game. I like it. It's like all the other Lego games. There are so many minifigs in that game. Holy crap!
Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So, and of course, I bought the deluxe edition with all the DLC that you.
The Lego ones are always worth getting the deluxe one for. It's like $10,
so
but
stuff.
you get everything.
Yeah, you get everything. You get the season pass, and they usually have a little minifig toy in there too. I didn't even realize that. So I picked that one up. Of course, I've got Rime in the mail the other day. I've had it on pre-order for a long time.
We were talking about that. How do you like it?
The game itself, I like it a lot. I'm very disappointed with the port of the Switch version.
There we go.
It's all the stuttering and everything that's on there?
Well, it's not just the stuttering. The stuttering I can live with. It's the blurriness in the graphics.
Yeah. When I first saw it, I thought there was something in my eyes.
Yeah.
You do get past it, and if you play it on the TV, it's better, but it's not great.
When I put it on the TV, what I noticed immediately was the jaggies around the main character when he moved. When he moved, all of a sudden I could see all these jaggies and stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute. What is... It can't be that taxing on the Switch. It just can't be.
I mean... From what
they probably just didn't put the work in to really optimize it.
From what Dennis was saying about the PS4 version, most of that was still present there.
Yeah, I mean, and they patched it out, and it's fine now. But it's like, I don't know. I expected it to be, after playing, especially like Lego Marvel, it looks awesome on there. To me, it looks no different than the PS4 or PS or Xbox One version. Of course, it's not super shiny, but it still looks really good. And I've been playing. The other one I've been playing is the Batman Telltale game. I picked it up.
Did you have that on PS4 or Xbox or something?
I had it on Xbox and beat it, played through it. But I was, I wanted to play through it again, so I was like, well, what better place to play through it again than the Switch, and that's probably where I'll stick with it when season 2 comes out.
Yeah, I was thinking about going to season 2 on the Switch.
Yeah.
It's pretty cheap.
Well, and I know how everything carries over, so it's like, well, I want to play it again and play it a little different anyway. So it was $20 on Black Friday. I had points saved up at GameStop, and I bought it 2 weeks ago for like $15 or something like that. So
yeah, it's a good price.
So so I've been playing it again, and after playing it on Xbox One, it runs better on the Switch than it did on the Xbox One. There's none of those weird kind of loading issues or crashing that you get with the Telltale games, or the weird little graphic little stutters and glitches that everybody always complains about. It's not there.
Mine was crashing.
Yeah, see, it's not there on the Switch version. The Switch version just...
Is it just because they've had time to patch
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm guessing. Maybe.
I mean, if it looks the same and plays the same, that's good for a port.
Yeah, I mean, it looks... Yeah. I mean, it's crystal clear. It looks perfect. I played it on the TV. It's 1080p. It looks just like it does on the Xbox in 1080p. And then I play a game like Rime, and I'm like... Well, what's up with that? It's like, I just...
There's no excuse for it. There really isn't.
And
it's Unreal Engine, I think.
Yeah, I think it was Unreal.
And it's not even that super detailed of an art style either.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's the very cartoonish, cel-shaded art style, but for some reason, it's just, and I hate that, because I was really looking forward to playing it, and I'll still play it, but now it's kind of like, man, I just should have bought it on PS4 since it has all the updates and it runs better. I mean, eventually they'll update it, and I can always come back to it later. I've got tons of other things to play on the Switch anyway.
It's definitely worth still playing through.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, I mean, but I see what you're saying. There was just parts. It's kind of like when you go from one section to another and it loads. It just kind of goes. It stutters when it loads, and it's like I don't. And there was a 500 gig or 500 meg patch, day one for it. When I put the card in, it downloaded it, and it didn't. It still has those. Well, it still has those issues. It still has the stuttering and the. So it's not a. I don't even remember what it patched, but it's not the graphics that it patched. It's not the stuttering issues or the loading issues that it patched. They'll fix it eventually, I'm sure. But still, it was kind of disappointing. The packaging was awesome. The little art book instruction manual that it came with was really cool, and then it's like, okay, let me pop the game in. Well, that stinks. And the other one that I got Little Do 2. The only reason I was interested in getting it is because it was a physical release with an instruction manual and like a map and all kinds of cool little things with it. It's one of those I don't even know how you say the names. The guys that did release Cave Story and those games, Natalis, I don't know. I don't know how you pronounce the names. Natalis, maybe? I don't know. But they're always doing the releases, the physical releases. It's actually a really cool game. It's a cutesy Zelda clone, like a 16-bit Zelda clone. So I mean, it's exactly like Zelda.
Yeah, I remember seeing stuff on this before. And like, is this the one that's not? It's not. Crap. What's the word? Is it procedurally generated? There we go. Brain fog.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And but I mean, it feels, as soon as I start playing it feels like Zelda. My B button is my sword that I could spin, and and I got a magic button over here. And
the screenshots look pretty cool. I could take something like this.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool little RPG, actiony RPG that's
$30 too.
Yeah, the physical is $30, but I don't mind buying the physical just to have them. I think the digital is maybe the digital is 20, or it may be 32. I don't know. I don't remember. I didn't look at the eShop, but
let's take a look.
It's just a fun game. Like I said, if you like 16-bit Zelda, it's 16-bit Zelda without Zelda, and it's a fun, cool little game.
I will add it to my work list, or my wish list.
Your wish list, your work list. Well, I mean,
my work list.
It could be a work list. It actually could be a work list. So.
Like a second job.
Yeah, really. If you get enough games, that's usually what happens. I still haven't finished the main story in Mario yet. I'm almost there, and then Friday is Xenoblade Chronicles. So I didn't buy anything on Black Friday because it was like, well, I'll go get Assassin's Creed. Well, why am I going to get Assassin's Creed? Xenoblade coming Friday. I won't play Assassin's Creed. I want to play Xenoblade, so I'll just wait on Assassin's Creed again. No big deal. So, I'm a big Xenoblade fan. I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan, but I wouldn't play Assassin's Creed for another month, so it's like, I'll just wait. So, but it looks like Eric has finally started playing something on the Switch after having it for like 2 months.
How about that?
I did. I finally decided after, it being hooked up for a week or two.
All right, I've just sat here staring at it long enough. Now I can play.
I can finally play it.
No, I haven't used it with the TV yet, but I slapped on the screen protector, fired it up, took some time, and played some Mario Odyssey and Mario plus Rabbids.
That's a good one.
Good choices.
One of those two games I like significantly better than the other, but it's not what you think.
Okay.
I like Mario plus. I mean, I like both games, but I like both games, but I don't know. I really like Mario plus Rabbids.
It's a great.
It's
game.
really easy for me to pick up and play.
Yeah.
Play like
that
an hour.
one
I'm
is
good.
a great game for handheld mode, whereas Odyssey you can play in handheld, but it's action games in general a lot harder to do in handheld.
And I realized that it's like, do this move with the Joy-Cons. I'm like, well, they're attached to the tablet. I'm like, this is not going to work. I'm not going to spin it around in my hands. So I was like, well, have either of you played it with a Pro Controller at all, Mario Odyssey? And
I use it with the Comfort Grip.
Comfort Grip? Okay. Yeah, I got that too. So I will try. But it looks good. Both games are fun. Look great. I was like, oh, I like Mario. Mario Odyssey's fun.
Yeah.
Very probably much better. Well, I think it definitely controls better than what we had on N64. So.
Oh yeah. All day long.
Of course it does.
And I enjoyed what the Wii U had. So.
I didn't play a whole lot of Mario Galaxy, so.
Yeah, me neither.
Mario Galaxy is really good, but if you went back to it now, you would hate all the motion controls that are in that game.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the one that I remember even hating at the time was where Mario's running on top of a ball and you had to like steer
Yeah, I
with like
remember
putting the
that.
Wiimote vertically and use it like a joystick, and it didn't work because the sensitivity wasn't that great.
And that's my problem with some of the other Wii games. Go back to them now, and I'm like, it has motion controls, and they're not optional. I get angry.
Yeah, I do too.
Come on. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. I probably played like, I want to say 15 hours on the Switch, maybe 20 hours over the holiday. I had from Wednesday off, so I had a lot of time to play games.
Yeah.
Meant to do other things, but I
Yeah.
played. Let's see. Well, we'll get in PS4 in a second. I played Deadpool on PS3. I bought it about a month ago for $5 from somebody locally.
Yeah.
You know, I want to play it for a while. PS3, PS4. Fired it up. The game. And I can see what the theme
What
of
a
last
pain.
generation is, you know,
Yeah.
action games. But it kept making my PS3, it kept like crashing, and my PS3 was having other problems too, and I figured out it was HDMI switch. But
Yeah.
I decided after playing Deadpool for a couple hours and dealing with it constantly crashing, I would just to make sure I played 007 Bloodstone for an hour and it ran fine.
Yeah.
No video problems. I was like, all right, it's the game.
I played
Deadpool.
Deadpool on, I think, 360 for a while, and then when it came out on PS4, I got it in Redbox for like $5, and it's okay.
It's pretty easy. I mean,
Yeah.
it does get his little voice. I got to deal with, him talking to himself and everything else like that, and breaking like the fourth wall, and that's kind of interesting. But I can see how it gets old after a while.
Yeah, I got about halfway through it, and it was just kind of like, meh, I'm kind of done with it.
And it's being delisted from Steam. It already has been delisted, and I'm assuming it's going to be delisted from PSN too. And
Well,
probably
it was delisted
XBL.
from PSN one time, PSN and
Came
Xbox
back.
one time, and then it came back. It's something with the licensing or
License,
something.
yeah.
They have to renew it all the time to get it to come back.
That's usually what it is with things like that.
Yeah,
It will probably be one of those games that when I get to finishing it, will probably get traded in because there's probably not really a reason to go back and play it.
probably not.
So yeah, I played some more Bloodstone. I guess it's fun. I mean, the driving sequences for that game are really good.
I
but
guess
the combat
it's
is.
No,
Well, the
no one's
combat's like-
making you play it, Eric.
Yeah,
Well, I had heard a couple of like really good things about the driving sequences because I think Crave made it. I don't remember who the developer is. So
Well,
the
I
driving
can't remember
sequences are really fantastic, and the action's fine. It's just last generation, so the environments are kind of bland. But
Yeah.
it's 007 and it has all the voice acting, so it's entertaining. I also picked up South Park, Fractured Butthole. Played that for about 5 or 6 hours. It's more South Park. If you like Stick of Truth, you'll like this. If you don't like South Park or Stick of Truth, you won't like this.
I don't like South Park, so
Then you probably won't like it. I mean, I haven't watched the show in like 10 years, but it's still, I mean, it's mildly amusing, and it's a very simple tactical RPG.
yeah. I've heard mixed things about it. Some people that love Stick of Truth don't care for this one, and other people love it. So it seems like it's kind of a whatever your
It's-
taste is.
Yeah, I mean, I really liked Stick of Truth, and I played through it 1.5 times. This is probably a one-time go, and then I'll be done. But
Yeah.
hey, it was on sale on Black Friday, so that made it even better.
Yeah.
And that is it. That's what I've been playing.
Cool. Well, Nathaniel, I want to hear about all the new games that you got on the Steam sale over.
I didn't buy tons because that's usually for this Steam sale. I just buy 1 or 2 things that I know I will play before Christmas comes with another Steam sale.
Yeah.
And then I might buy a few more then because I know it'll have to last for a while until something else comes along that I want to play. But first off, though, I'll talk about Horizon Zero Dawn Frozen Wilds again, just a little bit. I finished that up, and it's really, really good. It took me a little bit over 10 hours to finish it, and I was for running around and doing a bunch of all the side stuff. There's a few collectibles I didn't get, and then once you beat it, there's another sort of hunting collectible, I guess you could put in. There's another sort of creature and enemy machine thing, whatever, that gets loosed out in the wilds. They're kind of like a mini boss fight, and there's like 4 or 5 of them that you have to go and hunt down if you want to as a side activity. I haven't really done those. I was like, I fought the one at the end of the story missions, and that was hard enough. I'm not gonna go rush out and fight some more of them.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
But I probably will at some point because they're really fun. Like the combat in that game is so well done because you have so many different options and so many different weaknesses built into the different enemies, and especially the ones that are a little tougher.
Yeah.
Because once you're towards the end of the game, and all the like little machines that you see at the start of the game, they're not tough anymore. You can just like hit them once with your staff, they're done.
Yeah.
But a lot of the bigger things, like the giant T-Rex that's in the main game, or the new ones that they introduced in this DLC, they're really fun to fight, and you have to come up with kind of a strategy to take them down, depending on even in what environment you're in. Because there's sometimes like, oh, hey, I can get the drop on this one in this big wide area, so I have room to maneuver. But then there's another time you run into the same thing, and it's a lot tougher because it's a smaller, cave or something that you found it in. It's like, oh crap, I can't run around and dodge all its attacks as easy this way. Because I keep running into the walls, or I just don't have as much room to just like roll around. That's my favorite maneuver is, hey, when in doubt, just dive roll. Whee!
Sure. I mean, it sounds like a good thing. Why not?
But yeah, Horizon's an amazing game. Frozen Wilds is more of that at the same quality level. So if you like Horizon Zero Dawn, you'll like Frozen Wilds. Definitely worth getting.
Yeah, I need to get into that game. Like I said, I just scraped the surface of it, and I just haven't.
And it'd be
went
worth
back
getting
to
it because it slots just in there as in, hey, go off up here, do your thing up here if you want to. Kind of late game, you could do it.
Yeah.
Instead of coming at it as DLC, it's like, hey, here's a harder area that you need to go to later. You're not going to go there first, but it'll still be kind of like run off, do this thing in the middle of doing everything else as well.
Yeah, and I like to do stuff like that. I like to just buy the DLC while I'm playing the game and just have it there, especially when they put it in the game like that. It's.
I think it's level 30 or something is what it recommends before you go there. I'd say probably go a little higher because I think it was like 50. I think it was 50 for the main game, and now with the DLC added, you can go up to 60 for your.
At least
something like that.
At least they didn't do it like, what was that, Assassin's Creed 2 that had a whole chapter of the game that wasn't in it. It was behind the DLC that you had to buy. It was like,
behind a paywall.
Yeah, it was like you skipped from 20 to 22, and then it was like, wait a minute, what happened to 21? Oh, the DLC come out, now I have 21.
I had never played that
That's
DLC, and it
interesting.
was just fine.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's weird.
Maybe there's a reason you didn't finish it in time for the main game.
Yeah, I was like, what? That's strange. Oh, well, yeah, but
I mean, at least in Assassin's Creed lore, it kind of makes sense. Oh, we have corrupted files. Oops.
yeah,
Sure.
sure,
Works.
whatever.
Let's see. I'll get to the new games in a second, but I played a little bit of Hollow Knight based on I was compiling a list of all the 2017 games that I've played this year, and Hollow Knight was on there. I was like, oh, I've only played that for about an hour. I'm going to play a little bit more of it.
Hollow Knight.
It's a little indie game. It came out in like February. And
then you went down a rabbit hole.
It's a Metroidvania kind of a thing with, a very cool hand-drawn art style to it, and you're all like kind of bugs.
Yeah, I remember this now.
Stylized bugs. And you go around, you have like a little, I think it's a nail or something that you pick up that's your like little sword that you hit things with, and then you have other powers that you get as you go. I've only got like 2 or 3 of them, but judging on my little inventory screen, there's several more that I'll get eventually, like, a dash move and some other stuff that I don't have yet. But it's kind of like taking a Metroidvania style side-scrolling game, but then putting a little bit of Dark Souls tone into it, and a little bit of like mystery of like, hey, what's this world? Go explore it, kind of a deal. It's a pretty cool little game, and the art style's really, really nice looking.
Yeah, looks cool. I've
like
never seen this.
The first area that you start in is a lot darker. It has a very Dark Soulsy vibe to it, just in sort of a very muted color palette with really dark blues and grays and stuff. But then I got into another area that has a lot more color to it because it's like an overgrown, semi-jungly looking feel to it. It has lots of vines and cool Venus flytrap things that are hidden in the floor that if you walk over it not paying attention, they'll come up and bite you. And you're like, oh crap!
Yeah.
But it has a cool mechanic in it where your life is little icon things. So I have like 5 of them, and every time you get hit, 1 goes away. And then you also have like kind of a pool of bug juice or whatever they call it in the game that I forget now. That
yummy.
You hold down the button and it takes a while to charge, and pop your life back up,
Yeah.
but it takes time. So doing it in the middle of a fight is a risk if you want to try and do that. But that also gets used for the ranged attack that you have. So you like use some of that energy to shoot out a big blast of energy to shoot your enemies from farther away. But then that doesn't give you any juice back because every time you shoot an enemy, it fills that meter up. So it's a kind of give and take of depending on how much you have at a time, how much health you have, whether you want to shoot a thing or not, or you want to harvest it so you have more for your special moves. And then it's just anything else you would think of for a Metroidvania, just go here. I can't go through this door, or there's this thing in the way that I need a new tool for, so I found this over here. Now I can come back and go this way now. And it's kind of that sort of a structure of a game.
Yeah. It looks cool. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it's been getting it got a lot of buzz when it came out, and it's got quite a bit of fans, and they've updated a lot over the year, added stuff to it for free.
Yeah, that's always
So it's a pretty cool little game, so I'll probably keep playing some more of that.
Is it only on Steam?
I don't think so. I think it's on other
Everything
stuff too, but I
else?
haven't checked for sure. But yeah, that's where I have it is Steam.
Let me see. I had it pulled
Come
up.
on, Nintendo eShop.
I think it's a game that's on like PS4, Xbox, and might be getting a Switch version.
It is.
somehow.
Well,
so.
no, it's actually it's on Windows, Linux, Mac, and coming to the Switch.
Okay.
So I don't know when it's
And it
coming.
would be
to
a
the
really
Switch.
cool game to play on the Switch. So
Yeah, that's exactly. Is that sad that
Yeah,
that's
I've seen
exactly what
pictures
I was
about
thinking
this.
of when I saw it? It was like, man, that'd be great to
Well, I
play
mean,
on
just-
the Switch.
the art style and then just the kind of things that you're doing in the game, I think it would fit really well on there. And I bet if they get it on
$10,
Steam,
it's not bad. I
it
could
would
definitely do
probably
that.
sell pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
it
old-
just all depends on when they can get it out.
Time for a limited run release.
I didn't
Ugh.
really do much. I was at home all of like Thanksgiving break, so I got a lot of gaming time in. So Divinity Original Sin 2, I put in a ton more into that game. I think before I started playing some more of that this week, I was at like maybe 15 hours in, and now I'm over 40.
Wow.
I've been playing a ton of it. That game is so good. It's got a really, really cool just like combat system, just like the first one, but there's more wrinkles to it. So with the first game, unless I'm remembering it correctly, like say if somebody gets shocked with electrical energy, they could get stunned, and there's just
Yeah.
that one status effect. But in this one, you can either be shocked or stunned.
Mhm.
So there's like two levels of it. So the first level is shocked, and you get some different, debuffs and stuff to that, but you can still move around. But stunned is you're completely knocked out for a turn until you recover from it. And a lot of the status effects like that have different, variables to that. And then there's also they added curse and bless into this game. So there's cursed fire, which is terrible because it doesn't go out as easy. You have to do special magic to put it out versus just regular fire.
Mhm.
So it's a lot more wrinkles into the system that makes it really fun for just every encounter. It doesn't feel like the same old stuff from the first game again, which I still would have been fine with because that game has a really fun, just like mechanics to it, and it would feel different just by putting a different party together with different abilities because there's
Yeah.
a lot of different options there. But the writing in these games are so good, and it put a whole bunch of different like just humorous little Easter eggs and things in there, and fun little things to discover off the beaten path. And then there's also just a lot of cool characters that you meet. It's a really, really good game.
Cool.
I finally, after this 40-hour, I'd say probably at about the 35-hour mark, I made it past the first area of the game and into the main big map of the game.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
That's how
Wow.
that's how many different weird options that you can find in that game. There's different ways to tackle almost anything you find. So it's like, hey, here's this door.
Mhm.
Well, maybe you can find a way through it, or you can bust it down, or you can unlock it, or you can find just some other side route around it. So there's like a maze that I went through that each time you opened a door, you had like an object that would crumble when you used it. And
Yeah.
there's only so many of those that you could find. But there was no roof on it. So if you had someone with a teleport spell, you can just bloop, teleport them into the room with the treasure and
Huh.
teleport them back out. The whole game is like
Nice.
that. I found a dragon that I thought I was going to have to fight, but when I woke it up, it thanked me for freeing it, and then it helped me later on in the game before
That's
a big
cool.
fight later. So, but there are ways that you would have had to fight that dragon if you'd done something different. So it's just a really, really fun, just computer RPG turn-based combat, just as good as the first one. Everything you loved with the first one's still here. Plus, they added more on top of it.
Now, can you And are you stuck with whatever class you pick or anything? Can you respec later? I couldn't remember. You could do that in the first one, right? I never finished the first one.
You can respec at a certain point. You get to kind of your little hub area.
Uh-huh.
One of the hub areas, if there's more than one, I don't know. But it has a magic mirror thing that you can respec in there. And then there's also just like anytime that you pick up a companion, when you first say, hey, join my party, they're like, hey, I'm really good at being a rogue, but I can do anything. And so you get a pick. So
Got it.
you might look at that one, they might be a rogue for the art for the game, and it might be typically what you'd think of them, but like, hey, no, be my fire mage instead or whatever. But then it's also whatever you level up skills-wise, you can start there, but then put points into something else, and eventually by the time you get to the end, they're a completely different kind of weird character than what they started with. I have one character that's my rogue that's really, really good at burst damage, so it's just like use a couple abilities to up your damage and backstab something and just like bam, get a whole bunch of damage all at once on them.
Bam!
And then the next turnaround, they don't have as many action points because you used up a lot of this stuff like adrenaline skills. It's like, hey, get 2 points now, but next time you don't get them. But they also, through some object I found, got a couple polymorph spells at random that I have to give them. I have to give them a point in polymorph, but then I could use those skills. So I don't know. You can do all sorts of weird mixing and matching like that if you want to with your characters.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm sort of running a scoundrel squad.
Scoundrel squad.
Yeah, because I'm playing like my character and all the ones that I decide to have go with me in my 4-person party are all kind of more of the scoundrelly side of things. So we're like really good with the underworld, but we'll help the little man. But if you're Johnny Rich shopkeeper, we might steal from you. Just saying.
Yeah,
you might deserve it. So yeah, that's a really, really good game. If you like the first one, definitely play the second one.
Cool.
My screen started turning off. There we go. I was like, I want to read, but no, my screen's going black. Okay, stupid screensaver, and you just turned it off.
Yeah. I turned mine off.
It's one of those things that bugs you just enough that in the moment you're like, oh, I should turn that off, and then you never get around to it.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So with the Steam sale, I bought 3 things. I've played 2 of them. And so I'll start with the one that I haven't played yet was Quantum Break. I bought that. I will get to it eventually. I love Alan Wake. And, I've wanted to play Quantum Break for a long time. I'll get to it.
Yeah.
The reason I haven't is because I also bought Assassin's Creed Origins and Wolfenstein 2, New Colossus. And those games are great so far. I've played only a couple hours of Wolfenstein 2. That game is not messing around. Even more than the first one. Like the New Order has
really
some
hard.
bits. Yeah, I put it on the easiest level, and I would say that the easiest level is about like the normal middle level from the last game.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. And part of it is that it doesn't really tell you when you're taking damage visually without looking down at the numbers at the bottom. So you can just be like moving along like, oh, I took a couple hits, but then you're dead because you had more damage than you thought. You were way closer to death because it's not as good as some other games where it's like you can really see that you're about close to death and you hide. But if you play it like a Wolfenstein game, you'll probably be fine. By which I mean, don't sit still and hide behind a wall. Run around, dual wield, shoot something in the face. You know? That's what you're supposed to do in this game. It's not like your Call of Duties or Gears of War or any other kind of modern shooter where it's like, okay, we've got regenerating health, so we just hide for a bit and we're fine. No, you just like go around a corner to break line of sight and then walk around that corner, come back out and blast them in the face before they come get you. That's what you got to do. Now, sneak around at first so that you can get the drop on guys and then, throw your hatchet from across the room and, kill them that way. That's cool. Yeah. They're like, you know what, that first game where you had the knives that you could throw, that was cool. But what if they were axes?
Axes make everything better.
What if you're chucking full axes this time? So yeah, the last time around, you have kind of at the beginning of the game, you had this like choice you had to make that was like this big kind of like, oh crap moment. And then there's a couple other ones sort of sprinkled throughout that game. I played 2 hours of this game so far, and there's already been more of that than there was in that entire first game. It is not pulling punches. Holy crap, the start of this game is insane.
Yeah. Cool.
Like you get a flashback to B.J. Blazkowicz's past, and there's some crazy dark crap there. Then you play for a couple of hours, and you get up into this like Nazi ship that's kind of holding your ship in place, and you're trying to like free what other tethers are on it. You get there, and you get kind of half captured, and there's all sorts of crap that happens there. It's insane, and for what I've heard, that just keeps ramping up throughout this whole game.
I can't wait to play it. I've heard so many good things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like the last one. I played it, a month ago or so, talking about it on the show, and this is just as good as that.
And if you haven't played the last ones, they have the twin pack for sale, which comes with usually it's $30 in most places, maybe even cheaper now, but it comes with a $10 off coupon for the new one.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of places to get Wolfenstein 2 over Black Friday on all platforms.
Oh, it's like $25. Yeah.
Yeah. I got it for I got because it was so much on sale, I got the DLC like season pass with it because I was like, I'll play that.
Yeah.
So it was like, instead of like I think the season pass is only like $30 or $35 somewhere in there, but with the price of the game on adding it was like 10 or something. So I was like, sure, I'll do that.
Yeah, why not?
And then the game that I've played the most of is Assassin's Creed Origins. That game is awesome. It's so good.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it.
It's also very pretty.
Yeah.
Holy crap, is it so pretty. I've got it turned up most of the settings all up high on PC that I'm playing, which is, I was surprised I was able to do it. But
Yeah.
it runs pretty well. I think I've got everything mostly up at like high, ultra, or whatever, except for shadows I knocked down a couple times, but they even still look pretty good. Yeah. Knocked back just a couple. I'm sure it's something like render distance wise, and if I was just staring at shadows, I could be like, oh, that looks a little bit not as good. But when you're just playing, you never notice that.
Yeah, you don't notice.
Shadows is usually the thing is the first thing I turn down, because they're usually pretty intensive, and turning down 1 or 2 notches will usually get you the most gains in the game.
Yeah.
But that game is so much fun. It's like a weird mix of Assassin's Creed style, where it feels like an Assassin's Creed game, but they've changed just enough stuff about it that you're like, think about it, you're like, this is not like it used to be. So it's this cool, weird dance that they've done where it still feels like an Assassin's Creed game, but it's really different in most of the ways that you interact with it. Especially the combat is completely different. So I would say it's kind of like they took Assassin's Creed and then mixed a little bit of Witcher in there.
That's what I hear.
The way that The Witcher 3 does their open world and the style of it.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar to that, but it's definitely an Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah.
But the combat is really, really fun. I have a sword right now that I have that has a hook on the back of it that adds bleeding effect to people. So that when you hit them, then they'll it'll help if you're doing groups of enemies, because then you can hit a guy, but if you have to turn and do another one, the other guy that you hit first, might die off or at least get hurt quite a bit from it.
Right.
But there's a bunch of different weapons that you have, like spears, you have like big heavy maces, you have swords, you have clubs, you have dual swords where you have 2 at once, or you can have like a shield like I have on right now that you hold up. It's really, really good, and it's necessary to hold your shield up with bow and arrow people, because you'll collect all the arrows in your shield. There's even a thing on the upgrade tree that you'll collect arrows from it, which is really good to have.
Yeah, that would be handy.
You have different kinds of bow and arrow. You have sort of like a hunter's bow, which plays kind of like most bows and arrows in third-person action games like Tomb Raider or anything like that have. But then it also has a light bow, is what they call it. That's kind of like a shooter, like you're just shooting a gun. So when you hit the trigger, it fires, and you can rapid fire a certain number of arrows before you quote reload.
Yeah.
Even though that's not actually what you're doing. Whereas the other one, you hold the button, and when you let go, then it goes away. Then you also have like a sniper bow class that you can pick up. It's all loot based now too, so you have different quality of loot that gives you different stuff. So you have blues and purples, and you have yellow legendary ones. I have 1 of those now. I got my first one today. And so you can also, it's also got your kind of like a player level. So like level 8, it's a level 8 sword or what have you. So that if you go to a blacksmith and you have this sword that you really like, but it's under leveled, well, now you can level it up to whatever character level you are currently for a certain amount of money, based on what quality of weapon it is too. Yeah. So if it's a legendary, it's going to cost way more, but then its stats will go up to match where you're at then. So,
how's the story?
The story so far is really good. I'm trying to think because a lot of the stuff I've been doing is just running around, but I have played a decent amount of the story. I have no idea percentage wise, but I played kind of through the. You start the game and you're in one area, kind of like your hometown area of the main character, and then at a certain point you're let out into the main map, and they sort of send you through a couple other areas on the way to the city of Alexandria, which is where I'm at now, which feels more like, hey, this is an Assassin's Creed city, whereas before you're all in kind of like little desert villages. They might have a temple here, and it's not as many buildings as you would expect. But then in Alexandria, you're like, holy crap, look at all these cool buildings and stuff. So that's really neat. The fun thing about that game that surprised me is you can just hit a button and you switch to your eagle. You have like a pet eagle, and you kind of fly it around like a drone. And so you fly up in there and you can see all the icons on your map. So you can see, hey, there's a sync point over there. There's a bunch of animals that have soft leather over here. If I want to go hunting, there's this quest over here you can see, and you can mark it so that when you go back to your guy, you can see, okay, here's that icon was lit up, or you put a waypoint. So you can do that instead of going into your map all the time.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's a way to kind of see stuff that's around you, basically.
Yeah.
But I very quickly got the achievement for flying around in the Eagle for over 30 minutes. Because there's some points where it's like, oh, this area is cool. I'm just going to fly around and look at it.
Well, yeah, I could see that.
The water in the game is really, really nice. It looks really, really wet. It has some really nice physics on it, too. And it's got lots of different variety for how it looks. So there's like really dingy, swampy looking water with lots of gunk in it. And then there's a little bit more clear water. There's blue water, brown water. It all depends on kind of how big of a thing or small of a thing you're in. You can swim underwater and dive in. So that's different from some previous Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah, because before could you swim just on top or not at all? I can't remember.
You could swim, but it's just on top.
Just on top?
Yeah.
And so it's good. So there's some stuff where there's like a shipwreck and you can go swim down and get some treasure from it. So
that's cool.
Yeah, and then there's there's boats that you can get on and attack a couple of guys, like kill the captain of the boat to get some XP, and then they might have some treasure or some crafting materials. That's another thing in here. There's lots of crafting stuff.
That's interesting. It's kind of a change.
It's not like you're crafting items, you're crafting upgrades. So you have and it's tied to kind of parts of your outfit. So you have like your gauntlet on one side is tied into your melee damage. Your gauntlet on the other side is your ranged damage. And then you have another piece that upgrades your health. You have another piece that upgrades like your quiver. And so it all has different levels to it. And you can see on your little like interface how many times you can upgrade it, and it costs more materials and different types of materials as you get higher up that. I've kind of gone midway up most of them. So it's really, really nice. It's kind of pulling a lot of things from other Ubisoft open world games. So you kind of like hunt things to craft stuff, kind of like Far Cry and some other stuff I've done in the past. But it's doing it in its own kind of unique blend of a way, which is really nice. It's also fun that my mount is a camel. So there's that.
Right on.
And I was also, just wandering around in the hills hunting some fancy pelts to craft a thing. And I spent probably 2 or 3 hours just hunting random things to upgrade stuff today. And I was like, oh, I haven't even done a mission. What am I doing? But it was fun, so it didn't matter.
That's funny. Yeah, I like games like that. You just
so the boats are not big like Black Flag or anything, but it feels kind of similar where you're just steering it around.
Okay, so there is some sort of like ship combat then a little bit.
You're not fighting with the ships. You're using the ship to kind of get around to another thing. At least so far.
The masses demand more ship combat.
It's not ship combat, it's combat on ships.
Well,
because there's no cannons.
That.
There's nothing like that on these ships. They're just, boats that you're sailing around in this big, lake or what have you that I'm at in the area so far. Maybe in some of the other areas, I don't know. But, you wouldn't think of the desert as being ship combat central.
Yeah, and Spinner's right. There was underwater swimming in Black Flag, but it was only specific things. It was only like that. Was only,
I forgot.
It's not like
anywhere.
It's not like anywhere like it is in this. So.
Yeah, it's anywhere that the water is deep enough you can go underwater and swim.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of modern day stuff in here. There's not a ton of it so far. I've played maybe about 12 hours or so of Assassin's Creed, and I've played maybe 30 minutes in the modern day.
Well, that's not bad.
It's kind of cool. So it's like you're some person and you have a portable animus and you're in the middle of a cave, with the mummy of the main character that you're actually playing back in Egypt. And then apparently it looks like there's going to be some other stuff because you found, oh no, there's another mummy in the cave. What's this? And, so I don't think it's going to be a thing where there's lots and lots of, modern day things. It's just a little bit enough to keep it that Assassin's Creed flavor without being, oh, hey, you're in the middle of Abstergo and you're a game developer like they were in some previous games where it's just kind of like, okay, what, you gave up a long time ago, just stop.
Yeah, really.
But yeah, man, it controls really well. The game looks really, really nice. There's a lot more variety in the environment than I would have thought of beforehand, just thinking, oh, it's going to be desert, but it actually does have a lot of different looks to it. You can hunt, let's see, what are the animals I've killed so far? It's crocodiles, hippos, these weird gazelle-looking things, lions, hyenas.
No things.
I think there's one more that I can think of. And then there's others of sort of passive animals that are around that you can kill. You just don't get much from them. Is like flamingos are around. There's some goats and things like that in town.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's really, really good game. I'm definitely going to be playing a lot more of that.
Cool.
And I've played quite a bit. There's maybe 5 areas on the map that I've unlocked or made, like visible. And it's already a big area, and it's like there's a whole ton left. It's a huge map.
I'll probably pick it up at Christmas. I almost picked it up over the weekend. GameStop had it for like $44 on PS4, and I almost picked it up. I was like, I just don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't
That's why it
know.
was 30 maybe over the weekend, 30 or
May have been.
35.
I don't know.
Pretty tempting.
I just knew I wasn't going to play it right away, so it's
Yeah.
kind of like, well, I'll just hang on to it and I'll just get it later.
Get it when you can sink
Just
some
like-
time into
just-
it.
Yeah.
Just like what Spinner mentioned, those Ubisoft games, if you wait, and you don't have to wait usually that long, that
Oh,
price
yeah.
just goes.
Yeah.
Spinner was saying in the chat, yes, there is a thing in the tree where you can tame animals, so you can have an animal follow you.
Oh, that's
However,
nice.
your eagle will help you in combat. Just sometimes if I'm like hunting a thing, every once in a while it'll like swoop down and like attack one of them.
Oh.
Attack random people. No, not them.
There's also a skill where you can attack people with your eagle, sort of like harass them. I forget exactly how they phrase it, but I haven't unlocked it yet. So
Yeah, Far Cry Primal had an owl, I think you could use for like scouting, and you could send it down to attack people. So it's probably something.
Yeah, this is really good for scouting. So you have kind of like a little camp or an area that you're trying to infiltrate, and you're not sure how many people are there. You just bring your eagle up, look around, mark some guys like
Bring my drone up from Ghost Recon and have it ping all the guys.
Pretty much what it is, yeah. But it looks cooler than a drone.
Well,
It's
yeah,
not
I'm
just
sure
a
it
dumb
does.
drone. It's like the animation on the eagle is really, really nice. It reacts really well. You just can't make it go down to the ground. If you try and force it, you then see some weird stuff with the path of trying to go around obstacles. It's like,
Yeah.
no, we purposefully don't want you to put the eagle down close to the ground. Stop trying.
Makes sense. I could see that. It was cool.
I did try to see if it had a Batman Arkham thing where you could return it and have it like land on your character's shoulder or something, but it
Yeah. Oh.
Mm.
Well, that's disappointing.
will.
I'm out now.
Yeah. One of the idle animation things, though, if you just stand still for long enough, your eagle will fall down and fly down and land on like your hand. Your hand will come up and you'll be holding them.
Well, that's cool.
There's a lot of cool little details in that game.
It's kind of like Mario. When you lay too long, a little bird will land on your.
On your bulbous nose.
Yeah, it's definitely one I'll pick up when I have time to sink into it. Probably, I'm going to guess probably Christmas because
Yeah.
January will be a slow month
Usually when
probably
I
for
get in
me.
there.
So
it is
I have a
Assassin's Creed.
lot to think about when it comes to Game of the Year this time because I've played 18 2017 released games.
yeah.
Jeez.
Because I was going through old show notes and things and compiling up. I was like, wow, this list is longer than I
Yeah,
expected.
this is
Also,
I mean-
we've had a lot of good games this
Well,
year.
there has been. There's been a ton.
on
of
my
them.
list. These are pretty much. I think these 3 and maybe 1 or 2 other games are the only things I played that came out in 2017.
I've played a lot that's come out in 2017, but mostly on the Switch.
That's okay.
I haven't played a ton of them on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. I've
Well,
only
a
I can
few of those Switch games are still also
True.
just
Well,
2017.
I can count on my hand. I played I played the Little Horizon and I played the 2 Yakuza games on PS4. Other than Destiny 2, and that's really all I've played on PS4. I really haven't bought it.
The Switch was Time's #1 invention of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I bought nothing on
Really?
X. I bought.
What was
yeah, it
number
was.
2 invention of the year? Time. That's what I would.
Yeah, really.
iPhone 10.
I bought nothing. I bought nothing on Xbox this year. I've bought nothing on Xbox One. I don't know why I still have it.
Hey, neither have I because I don't own one.
Well, I own one, and I have all the games with gold games or games with gold or whatever that is, but I haven't bought anything for it. I haven't. There was no good other than Forza 7, but I didn't feel compelled to buy it because I still have a lot of Forza 6 to play. So I was like, eventually I will. But the Xbox is in a weird place. But well, anyway, we'll get into the news real quick. We got a few stories. There wasn't a ton of stuff going on this week. Most of the time it was bad news. The other day I came across Twitter that Marvel was discontinuing the Marvel Heroes game that's on PS4 and PC. Apparently, at first they announced it was going to run until the end of December, but then like a day or two later, Gazillion or however you say it, Gazillion, they came out and said that they were shutting it down and laying off the staff before Thanksgiving. I don't know if it's still up yet or not. I haven't booted it up. I played a lot of that game on PC. It was actually a really cool game. If you like the Marvel Ultimate Alliance style game, it was really cool. And of course you had to buy, if you wanted a certain character, a lot of times you had to buy them. You could unlock some of them as you went along. But it was still a really cool game. But I guess it sounds like it's going to end up being a mess. I mean, some of the employees are saying that they've been laid off with no severance pay and no paid time off. I mean, it sounds like it's a really, really bad mess. And I don't know. I don't know if it's one of those things, well, when Marvel pulled the plug, then the company went, well, we're done. Or if it was one of those things that Marvel knew that the company was done, so they went ahead and pulled the plug, or I don't know.
Who knows?
It's one of those weird things, but, hopefully.
The employees sure didn't know what was going on.
And you imagine like 2 days before Thanksgiving, oh, guess what? You're.
I don't have to imagine. I was laid off a little after Thanksgiving.
I remember that.
One time.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
Yeah, that was
not
bad.
a good time.
Yeah.
Don't lay people off at that time. Even if you have to, just don't.
Yeah, just don't.
It's terrible.
Yeah. One of the rumors, I mean, I don't know if it's actually a rumor or not, but Disney pressured EA to pull the microtransactions from Star Wars Battlefront. I thought this was really interesting. And at first, when I first read it, I thought it was more of a rumor. But I think, it's confirmed now. Apparently, I read an article this afternoon, and I meant to put a link in here, and I didn't, or this evening, that apparently EA and Disney have weekly meetings about what Star Wars games they have and about Battlefront 2. And Disney says, we would like to see this. We'd like you to do this. This is how we want to. And EA, the developers, and Disney sit down and talk about these things. Which the one thing that surprises me, it makes sense. But
man, did they miss the mark with this game?
Yeah, and what I don't understand is if why Disney let the transactions come out like they did. If they surely they would have known there was going to be some kind of backlash. Maybe they didn't expect it to be as bad as it was. But
I don't think it's that they would expect to be backlash because they're not the only ones that have the.
True.
But part one, they're a big company that people kind of like to hate on anyway. 2, it's a big game, so it's going to have enough of a microscope on it. And 3, there's one that they wouldn't have been able to tell is just the environment that it came out in with all the kerfuffle about loot boxes and all that just recently now anyway. That piles on to make it kind of this perfect storm of insanity.
I like the article said that Robert Iger himself said he was alarmed at the situation with EA and the executives expressed concern that the controversy would reflect poorly on the Star Wars brand, and that was why they wanted it removed. So, hey.
Well, I mean, it's part on the heels of they closed Visceral and then now this.
Mm-hmm.
So Disney has to be thinking, well, what in the crap, man? Like, come on, can't you guys get some Star Wars games out and not mess it up, please?
Yeah, really.
It shouldn't be that difficult, right?
Yeah, it's
you say that now.
Yeah.
You would think.
Now,
but
Speaking of Battlefront, U.S. legislature wants to limit the sale of games with loot boxes in the wake of Battlefront 2. This was a Hawaii state representative that came out with this.
Good luck.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's like Belgium or something their government's looking
Yeah,
into some of this.
they were
type of
looking
stuff with
into
loot
it, too.
boxes, and someone else was, and I forget now which country it was.
yeah, there were several of them, but it's funny that now they're looking into legislation to prohibit sales of games to players that are under 21 years of age, and
Yes,
even
I
restrict
thought there was a
inclusion.
story that considered it gambling at one point.
Yeah,
Did we talk about that here on the show?
Yeah, there's been a lot of. Is it?
Yes, we
gambling or
talked
not
about that one
talked
time.
about?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot about this. So now the loot box stuff is not over. We're never going to hear the end of it. But it's just funny that now all of a sudden, government people are like stepping in, going, "Oh wait, we need to do this," and it's
And that's not the solution either.
No,
it's
it's
they
not.
can be used and be done where it works fine, and it's not going to get in the way of a game or people's enjoyment of it. A thing that I remember seeing come out around, it was an article or a Twitter thread or something from some developer who works on like a free-to-play franchise that have been doing it for years.
Yeah.
And what they're saying is, you have to think of it as the main game is the free game, that's the real game, and then the other stuff is on top of it, and realize that 95% of the people who play your game will not pay for anything, any loot boxes or microtransactions in it. And when people get it wrong is when they don't think of it that way.
right.
And that's what it seems like has happened with kind of EA with both Battlefront and with Need for Speed. And a few of the other games that have been coming out this fall, a lot of this whole like trying to cash in and make money without actually thinking about, wait a minute, maybe
Yeah.
we should do this in the right way and not screw people over.
Yeah, I don't know. And like going back to the Marvel thing, that was a game that was free to play. You never had to buy a thing on it if you didn't want to, but it was a good enough game that I had almost considered spending money on it several times because I liked playing it so much. I mean, I'm glad I didn't now because holy crap. But,
Yeah.
but that's the other side of that sword. They could come out and say, well, you know what, this is the free game. You could buy this to do this. And then 6 months later, they go, nope, we're pulling the plug on it. I mean, it's pay to, I don't know, some of this stuff is just weird. And I just want to pay my $60 for my game and play it and be happy. I don't want to have to worry about loot boxes and everything.
Yeah, I think part of the thing with loot boxes is it ties into microtransactions, as in people don't want to pay for stuff sometimes like that, whether rightly or wrongly. But it's also, if you're having it, you want to pay for something and know what you're getting.
Yeah.
And then also, if it's tied into progression in any way, people are going to shout pay to win and probably be right about it.
Yep.
Whereas if it's just skins, they're still going to say it's pay to win because people are dumb, but it's not going to. It's just cosmetic. I think having cosmetic skins is great. The thing with Star Wars that they're going to run into is there's no way DICE could have put skins in there and been able to be successful with it because Disney would say, no, you can't do that, you can't do that, you can't do that, you can't do that, because they're really, really tight with control on what they want out there for the brand and what they don't.
Yeah. So, be
You
interesting.
can't have pink stormtroopers, even though plenty of people would probably buy that skin.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Axiom Verge Publishers donating 75% of its share to the developer's son's health care. This is kind of a cool story. Apparently, the developer's son was born healthy, but has, but due to a failure to treat a case of jaundice, he was, when he was days old, he is now have a lifelong condition called I can't even say that word. I hate pronouncing diseases and things because I can never
Very
say them
sick.
right.
And it's
Yeah,
not
he's
gonna go
very
away.
sick, and it's not going to go away. Severe neurological damage is what it boils down to. So, so the publisher's donating 75% of it. So, if you want to go buy it on the Switch where it just came out, hey, some of that money is going to help somebody. So
I really do want to get Axiom Verge on the Switch.
I do too. I want that multiverse edition, the collector's edition, whatever it is. It's like $40 with all the cool little extra stuff. Amazon still has them in stock. I'm real tempted to order that. I've put it in my cart about 2 or 3 times this weekend and went, no. No, but yeah, that's definitely cool. It's something that the publisher doesn't have to do, but it's cool that that they genuinely care enough to do something like that. Not every big publisher is going to do that. So very cool. And an odd announcement on like the 20th of November, Valkyria Chronicles 4 was announced for the PS4, Xbox One, and the Switch.
Nice.
So John will be getting it on the PS4.
Well, you know what? If they have a Steelbook edition, I'll get it on the PS4, but I'm probably going to play it on the Switch.
It's a weird time to announce the game. And it's also a game that I wouldn't expect him to see another one of these, so that's cool.
Yeah, it was a weird time, and the announcement came from Japan, so it was a weird time of day. Anyway, it was like real late at night, and all of a sudden I get a PR email from Sega going, "Hey, guess what? Valkyria Chronicles 4 is coming out," and I'm like, "It's 12 o'clock at night, and you're telling me this?" It's like, tell me this at 8 o'clock, because I'm super excited. I love Valkyria Chronicles, and to be able to play it on the Switch, that art style and everything is going to look really, really good on the Switch, because it's one of my...
Wherever.
Oh, it'll look good wherever.
Yeah,
it's one of my
just a cool
favorite
art
games
style.
on the PlayStation 4, so, and 3, as far as that goes. And I think I have it on PC. I think I've bought that game everywhere where it's wherever it was available, whenever it was available. I know I've got it on PC and PS4, but like PS4, I got the review code for it, and I still bought the Steelbook edition. I've never taken the game out of the case, but it's sitting over on the shelf because I was like, it's a Steelbook of one of my favorite games. I have to have it. So I hope they make a Steelbook for the Switch. That's one of the reasons I'm buying Xenoblade Chronicles Collector's Edition, because I want to see a Steelbook for Switch games. Little tiny
It's
steel.
just a slightly different sized rectangle.
Hey, and that's awesome. Minion Studio reportedly going to make a Mario Brothers movie with Miyamoto involved. Anybody excited to see a Super Mario's movie?
Guys,
See what
Mario
happens.
would probably work well as animation. Why didn't they do this forever ago? Oh, wait. Let's just do
really
a weird
strange.
live action thing.
Yeah, that weird live action thing. But yeah, I mean, this could actually be pretty cool. I'm excited. I'll go see it. I would go see it in the theater.
I mean,
Depends on what they do with it.
I kind of enjoy the original Mario movie. I know it's off. I still enjoy it.
I have not
It's-
watched it since I was a
It's
child.
so bad, and that's what makes it fun to watch.
Exactly.
Weird and dumb and bad. It's terrible.
I remember watching it as a kid and not liking it, but I have not went back and watched it since then. So, but
You
yeah,
should watch it because it's really strange. Just like, okay, let's take Mario, which kind of is weird in its own thing, but
Yeah.
then let's just do weird stuff when we put it into the live action that makes no sense.
yeah, and that's what I remembered of it. It just made no sense whatsoever. But it used to be on Netflix. I don't know if it still is or not. I'll have to look that up.
I don't know.
Sounds like I should add to my watch list if I can find it. Maybe it's on Hulu. I don't know. It's
I don't know.
probably
It
on
seemed like
Prime or
somebody had it. I don't remember who had it. But, and the last thing, Nintendo accounted for 2/3 of all console sales in October, and Mario sold 1.1 million copies in 3 days, making it the #1 game in October. Even though it was released on the 27th of October, it was the #1 selling game in the month of October. What is hilarious is, well, not what is, I wouldn't call it hilarious, but what's really cool is with Nintendo's console sales, it pushed hardware game sales to more than 1 million units total in October, which is something that hasn't happened since 2011. So it actually hardware spending grew 10%. Over the same period last year, which is good for the industry. That's more people getting consoles in their hands. Trying to remember. No, we bought ours in November, so we'll add to. We'll add our Switch to this month's things. But
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see in about another month or so what Black Friday stuff was like for hardware for November.
yeah, well, and that's you got to take in that, and you got to take in that Xbox One X came out at the beginning of the month
Yeah.
too. So it'll be interesting to see. And PlayStation and Xbox all had sales on their systems, their
I mean,
base
a lot of
systems,
people
but
buy systems around this time of year for Christmas gifts and
Yep.
stuff anyway. So it'll be curious to see how many just across the board
Yeah.
got sold this year, because we got kind of at least 2 consoles that are doing pretty well, and another one that's doing decently enough. It's still selling hardware at least, because
Yeah.
apparently the Xbox One X sold quite a bit.
Yeah, that's
So,
the way it sounds. But I mean, you could get a PlayStation 4 this weekend for under $200. You could get at Xbox One at some places for 180, 175. I saw them as low for. So I mean,
Yeah.
the
there are
hardware's
pretty good deals out there.
yeah, the hardware's cheap, and the one thing that a lot of people I don't think about with the Xbox One S is that's a 4K Blu-ray player at $189 or whatever some of them were charging with a $50 gift card. That's cheaper than some 4K Blu-ray players out there. Some people may just buy it just for the 4K Blu-ray player.
That's just cheaper than
Yeah.
the 4K Blu-rays themselves. So,
Nah, not really. The 4K Blu-rays aren't that much
I think
more.
that 4K, they're more expensive, but they shouldn't be.
Well, no, they shouldn't be. They're like, I think,
I mean,
well, if
yes,
you
it
buy them
costs
day
a
one,
little
they're
bit
like
more to do
$5
that,
more.
But most of
There's
these
a lot
are
of the
already
digital
at
services now
higher-
that aren't charging extra for
No,
them.
Voodoo
Yeah.
doesn't. If you buy it on Voodoo and it's 4K, it's available in 4K, and you have a 4K device that'll play it, it automatically gives you the 4K version,
Yeah.
which is
Same on
nice.
iTunes.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of these they just have to output it at that because the size that you put it out for the digital movie format, it's already very high resolution for that. So you just have to go put in your output settings for 1080 DVD, Blu-ray or 4K Blu-ray or 4K streaming to have that the files output for that. Then you just let the computer crunch it out, right?
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, Destiny 2 was the second best-selling game in October. So I mean, when Nintendo sells well, the whole market does well.
I would be
Nintendo
saying,
sells well, everybody wins.
Yeah.
That could be a fantastic commercial.
But see, this is all NPD stuff too. So with Destiny 2, who knows? Because there's going to be a lot of digital in there.
Yeah,
'cause
this
PC
is-
came out, and that's pretty much going to be all digital.
Yeah, and there's no digital numbers in this. So,
Yeah.
these are just early, like you said, MPD reports. So.
Hey, people buy games in the fall.
Yep.
Who knew?
Yeah,
oh, wait,
really.
we all did. 'cause
Yeah, we
that's
all
when
did.
they all come out.
Yeah. Yeah, really. So, but yeah, so it's it's going to end up being a good year, which every year's a good year usually. But there for a while, a lot of people were afraid that numbers were going to be down this year. But I think with Switch selling well,
Oh yeah, Switch has definitely had a year that's. If you even take Switch out of it, this year has been a pretty good year for just quality of games. But add the Switch into it, this has been an amazing year for
yeah,
games.
I bought 2 of them. I bought 2 Switches. Like this is just ridiculous.
You're gonna be that weird guy in the commercials when they have all the different reaction shots, and you're the one guy who's like, "It was so good, I bought 2."
I'm double fisted switches.
They might not do that take. They might not use that take,
I'm just standing there with 2 of them in my hands.
and I think that might be the episode title.
You're right. Let me write it down. I had something else in mind, but that's better. Let me write that down. My wife is going to kill me.
Not a good episode title unless there's some sort of weird innuendo. In it.
You're right. Double fisting.
Double fisting switches.
Yep, I got to write it down.
And
or I'll
take that
forget.
out of context, just that phrase.
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
even worse.
Everybody's like, "What? We got all these new downloads this week. What's up with that?" Because everybody thought we were a different kind of podcast.
Like, at least if you see
And
the
adult
video
themed
game, podcast, you get that. Okay, they're probably talking about Nintendo, but if you had no idea that it was a gaming podcast, it'd be like, what the heck are they
What
talking
the heck are they talking about? Yeah,
I don't want this podcast.
Yeah, really.
Or
But-
those few people are like, ooh, I want that.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. Ooh, what that podcast? Those guys are right up my alley. No, we're not. No,
No, we're good. Thank you.
No, we talk about food here.
Yeah,
we
we're
don't
all-
talk about games or any of that other weird stuff you're thinking about.
we're all good here. So I know we'll have at least. I know I don't have anything else. Do you guys have anything else? Is there anything else I missed that anybody can think of? I mean,
No.
this week wasn't too big with news. I know we really hadn't talked about December recordings. I know we'll at least have one. I'm going out of town for 2, maybe 2 solid weeks, so it might only be one next month. I don't know.
The way that it times out, if we do our every other week thing, like normal would probably just be one, because after that I will be out of town. Well,
Yeah.
it would be like the 10th and then the 24th, which would be Christmas Eve.
Right.
So
Well, see,
probably just one.
I'm out of town the week of the 11th and probably the week of the 18th. And
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
then when I get back from that trip, we are actually going to my brother's for Christmas on the 22nd, and I don't know when I'll be back from that. So
Well, that's it, guys. Happy holidays.
yeah, I am probably going to be
Maybe we'll
gone.
squeeze one in
You just want to try to do a
Sunday. We'll
show
figure it out.
like Sunday the 10th? I mean, I'll be around.
We'll see. I got to see how work's working out. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going over to. I know I'm going to work in Pennsylvania for at least a week or 2 weeks. I don't know if I'm doing all 2 weeks at one time, and we're just going to go straight through, and when we're finished, or if we're going to go and then come back the weekend and then go back again. I don't know how it's going to work. But then then we're going to my brother's for Christmas, and we'll be over there for at least half that week. So. Yeah, December, I'm not going to be home very much. Next week and a half is the only time I'm going to be home, and I'm probably going to be on the road all the rest of the time. So,
Ooh.
unless weather permitting. If weather's bad, then we won't be going anywhere. So, next week we might actually have our game of the year, or in 2 weeks we may have our game of the year episode. Who knows?
Or we could just wait.
Yeah, or we may wait till after January. So, but
And that would give you time to play Xenoblade. And me too, because
Yeah.
I ordered it. But
Oh,
I don't know
did
if I'm
you?
gonna get to it right
I don't
away.
know. I was going to say I need to look. Yeah,
I
the
knew
last
I probably wanted to play it, so I figure I'll pre-order it to get the Amazon discount on it.
Yeah. Well, the Xenoblade on the Wii U you could play online co-op. I don't know if you can do that on this one or not. That would be kind of cool.
I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard if they're doing that or not.
I haven't looked too deep into it. I just read
Haven't
a couple
either.
of kind of like pre-reviews where the people have played like 15, 20 hours of it and said, hey, first impressions, and they all seem pretty good. So I was like, all right, I'll feel good enough that I'll pre-order this game.
Yeah, I loved Xenoblade on the Switch. It was one of my favorite games on the Switch, and I think or the Wii U, and I think I put.
Yeah, but this one's different though too than that one, right? Because
Yeah.
it's kind of a sort of offshoot
It is,
versus this
yeah.
one's
Yeah,
more like
it is.
the Wii version.
Yeah.
But does it actually follow the Wii 3DS story, or is it just in the same?
I don't
think
I,
it's
I
a
don't
good-
think it does.
I don't think it
it's
does.
like a Final Fantasy or something where it's kind of the same universe, but it's not like a direct
Yeah.
sequel.
Yeah.
As far as I understand it anyway.
Yeah, the one on the Wii U was awesome because they just you did this little thing at the beginning, and then poop, they dropped you, and you were in this big open world to go do whatever you wanted, and then you could go online, and it was almost like Phantasy Star Online. You could get a bunch of guys together and then go do quests and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't think this one's anything like that one, or it's not like a direct sequel to it. But I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about it, and I've actually limited myself to because I don't want to get too much of the story because I want to play
This
it.
is supposed to be more like the first one, where it's more kind of fantasy versus
Yeah.
the little sci-fi stuff from the Wii U one.
And I'm okay with that. Oh, that's fine.
I mean,
I
it's,
like that.
you think about it, it's kind of like Final Fantasy, where some
Yeah.
of them look a little bit more fantasy-ish, some of them a little more sci-fi-y, but they're not necessarily tied together unless they have the same number after the name or something.
Yeah.
Or
So
they do multiple releases.
yeah, well, it'll be cool. I'll have it here Friday, so I know what I'll be playing all weekend long. So
Yeah, I bought
I
like
know
4
what I'll be
games on
playing.
Friday,
Not
so
bad.
enough stuff to keep me busy for the next several months.
oh yeah, I've got plenty to keep me busy for the next several years if I ever get to it all. So,
Don't we all?
yeah,